I'm Richard Randall. Welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is the Real Estate Voice. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, a lot of people look at all those automated valuations. You see them all over the place online, Zillow, or they just ask their neighbors, so how much are you selling your home for? They think that's a good way to track the worth of their home if they're thinking about selling. So especially now that it's taking a little bit longer to sell a home, how does a home seller even decide what price they ought to be selling their home for?
Well, most sellers want the most money. I would love to get them the most money. But at the end of the day, the market's going to decide what the selling price is. And so pricing your home correctly can mean the difference between the home seller getting the most money or the home sitting on the market for a long, long time, waiting for hopefully the buyer that wants to pay the most money for the home to come along. And sometimes that doesn't work. So there's an art to pricing a home appropriately. And even if you make the mistake of pricing it too high, as long as you react quickly, it will result in a sale. It's the ones that are so stubborn and so determined to get this artificial number of what their home might have been worth 6 months ago during the boom that's no longer worth that much anymore. You can wait. Maybe it might take a year or so, but it's not very fun to have your home on the market showing after showing after showing and getting all this negative feedback. And it could be other factors. It could be the pictures are bad, which might mean why it's not selling, or it could be it's not being promoted the right way. That is a possibility. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of factors that go into deciding how to price a home appropriately. But the market is going to tell you right away if you missed it. How are you going to know? If you price too high, the activity is going to be very slow. Very few, if any, showings, definitely no offers. If you're priced close to the price, you're getting showings, but no offers. Like I had one a few months ago, right when when the market was starting to shift to around June. Beautiful home, brand new, almost brand new home, back to open space. Everything was redone in this home. And it was hard to figure out what it was going to sell for because the interest rates had just gone up a couple of percentage points. There weren't as many buyers in play. We priced it according to similar sales and it did not work. We were getting plenty of showings. Everybody said they loved it and it was beautiful, but we weren't getting offers. So we made a small correction, a few percentage points, and boom, we got a contract right away. And so it's okay to do that as long as you don't wait 6 months to do it. And if you price it too low, there are going to be some buyers that assume that you will accept that price. You don't have to accept any offer that comes across the table. But if you price it too low, there's got to be a reason for it, right? Maybe the home isn't updated. Maybe it needs a lot of work. And those are clues, right? And the buyers are basically not looking at similar sales. What they're looking at is, if I'm a buyer and this is my budget, what can I get in my price point? So that's part of what we do when we sit down with sellers. We evaluate the whole picture. We give them empirical data, not only similar sales, but current competition, so they can make a good decision about where to price their home. And there are some people that will try to squeeze as much money out of their home as possible. And a lot of times they'll price it according to how much they want to put in their pocket. Like I recently spoke with one seller where the neighbor's house was priced at a certain point. But guess what? The neighbor's house had been sitting on the market for months. Obviously, that wasn't the right price. So obviously, even though it might have been a similar home, it probably was not that his home nor the neighbor's home was going to command that much money because the market spoke and they did not make offers on that property and it did not get a contract. But some people make decisions about pricing based on how much money they're going to take out when it sells. And I get that. I understand that, in order to move to the next destination, you might need a certain amount of money, but you can buy a home right now with as little as 3% down, even conventional. So if you need to sell, this is a great time to sell, but you have to price it right. And what we're finding is buyers are picky in any price range. I've got a really great home that's got new flooring. It's got fresh paint. It's not a newer home. And the buyers are coming in expecting to get, Corinthian leather and completely remodeled. And they're like, no, it needs too much updating. I'm like, what updating? It's got new carpet, fresh paint. It's in good condition. So sometimes buyers have these unrealistic expectations. So we're going to probably try something different on that property to get the buyers to get what we call the love word when they come in the house. And the other thing that's happening is the investor buyers, what I call the I buyers, like Redfin quit buying, Zillow quit buying, Open Door and OfferPad are still buying, Home Partners is still buying, but they're coming in super low. Okay. So if you want to give your house away, you can call them. But we can get you a better cash offer than what they can get for sure. And so the market's going to tell you when you go in the market if you missed it. If you don't have any showings, you're priced too high. If you're getting just a few showings, you're priced a bit high. If you're getting plenty of showings but no offers, you're a little bit high. And if you're getting offers, you're right on target. Stay there. It's just a matter of waiting for the right buyer. And according to the National Association of Realtors, if you price a home too high and then slowly walk the price down, you're actually going to net less money. You're better off being priced correctly right out of the gate, or at least in the first 10 days of being on the market. And then you asked about those automatic valuations, Richard. I love going to realtor.com. It's one of my favorite websites to demonstrate this. So a lot of people go to Zillow and they complain that, well, Zillow doesn't have all my square footage. Well, Zillow is only focused on the above grade. Most of the homes in this area have basements. That's one thing. But the other thing, if you go to realtor.com and you put your address in, it will give you 3 different sources besides Zillow, excuse me, besides Zillow that are automated valuations. And you could see a price range in there of anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000 difference in the quote valuation of these automated valuations. So how do you know if it's right? You don't know based on these automatic valuations. You need a professional that's in there in the trenches, selling every day, and they know what's going on in the market, and they can realistically price the home to get you the most money, because pricing is a piece of marketing. Pricing it right is a way to get the most money. Right now, homes are selling in about 32 days is the average days on market, right? So a lot of buyers are kind of expecting to get a discount, and that's just not the case right now. But don't be surprised if buyers come in and ask for you, the home seller, to pay your loan closing costs, like we talked about the last segment. But you need to hire somebody that knows how to negotiate that for you. Here's an example. So I just sold this home this past weekend. Lovely home on acreage up in Monument. It was not updated. It had tile counters in the kitchen. It wasn't, a full-on remodel like a lot of the buyers were expecting, but the seller did the right thing. They priced it just right. And the result was 85 people at the 1-hour open house and 6 offers, and it sold for way over asking price. So those bidding wars do take place if you price it appropriately. Most buyers, if you price it too low, they will assume that you'll accept that number, and they might be disappointed if you've got competition. But a good agent will be involved with that and actually communicate with the listing agent to make sure that if their buyer makes an offer, what is the competition? We can't tell them how much the offers are, but we can certainly let them know how many the offers are on the table and what they're having to compete with. And then it's up to the buyer to just make their best possible offer. So pricing realistically versus optimistically is absolutely key. You have to compare apples to apples. And if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to get some advice on what to do to prepare for your home for sale and what it should sell for in this market and how much you're going to put in your pocket when it sells, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to The Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. And you can listen to replays of the show anytime on all of the major podcast platforms. If you're just catching a portion of the show because you're going from one place to another, make sure you listen on podcast, or you can check it out on Barb's YouTube channel, Barb Schlinker, Schlinker. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900. Barb has the buyers. Barb, what are some of the other magic bullets on pricing your home that get you the top dollar?
Well, Richard, don't expect a bidding war at all. If you get it, it's a happy time. It's a lot of fun for a home seller, not so fun if you're a buyer. But there are still multiple offers going on the properties that are presented to the home, right, and are priced right. But not every home is going to spark a bidding war. We saw that up until April, almost as a routine. If it happens, it's a fun thing. And then don't throw a fit. You know, it only takes one buyer to get to the finish line, right? And it could be the right buyer. I've had some buyers get disappointed about how much over asking price they're getting, which is any amount over asking price is a good thing. It means you priced it right, but that's not very common. You need to really hire a real estate agent that knows how to help you understand pricing, because at the end of the day, it's the seller's decision. It's not the real estate agent's decision on pricing. The other thing is you want to make sure that you know exactly what to expect going forward, because there's some other things that can derail the sale, like not being available just to show the home. Those kind of things can be a problem, but you know, that's part of what we do, is to make sure that we give everybody an opportunity to come see the home, throw their hat in the ring, and then we'll still do showings after that. And it's all about pricing and presenting the home the right way. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker on the Real Estate Voice Show. And if you're thinking of selling your home and you want to get the most amount of money, call Barb Schlinker at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. That's barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing top 7 things that sellers love to get from buyers' offers and hot new listings. Stay tuned for that.